At a critical moment in One Last Monster, Empress Yura makes a decision that feels right to her, but turns out to be catastrophic. She makes a huge mistake, and that wasn't an accident. Now, spoilers ahead for this video. If you haven't checked out the short film, the link is in the description below. So why did I write her making that mistake? Well, let's think about what a story is to begin with. At its simplest, I think a story is about how a main character, or a group of characters, tries to solve a problem. Everything in the story leads up to a crisis. In Act 3, using the 3-act structure way of thinking about story, where the character tackles their problem head on. They try to solve it once and for all. Well, there's a moment in a lot of stories right before that Act 3 crisis called the all is lost moment. It can be the point where the plan collapses completely, or where something precious and valuable is lost, at the worst possible moment. I realized that this concept existed in screenwriting, reading Robert McKee's excellent screenwriting book, Story, by the way. Pixar uses this concept of an all is lost moment all the time, as their films ramp up towards their climaxes in Act 3. In The Incredibles, for example, the all is lost moment happens when Mr. Incredible believes his entire family has been killed by Syndrome. In Finding Nemo, the all is lost moment happens when Marlin believes Nemo is dead. Both moments are knockout gut punches to the heroes, and setbacks that really cripple them and stop their forward momentum. Those moments hurt because whether they're self-inflicted or caused by villains, the audience asks, okay, how is the main character going to achieve their goal and win now when this terrible thing has just happened? And that's what happens to Yura. Her mistake isn't cruel, it isn't quite selfish, it just comes out of self-preservation and misunderstanding. From trying to do the right thing in a situation she's never faced before. You know, in the story, she's dealing for the first time with an alien that isn't an enemy, but a living, intelligent being in a universe that is already tearing itself apart from mutual misunderstanding between alien worlds. So given all that, Yura gets it wrong. Now, if she was a flawless character, I think she'd be boring. If she never failed at anything, well, she would never change. That failure becomes the emotional engine for everything that follows in the rest of the film. In my mind, in stories set after the short film, her guilt at making that mistake with Dytus stays with her. It pushes her to rethink how she approaches the entire universe. Definitely not to attack other alien planets, but to partner up with them. I was inspired by the anime character Kenshin Himura from Rurouni Kenshin, who is shaped by his regrets as a killer during Japan's Meiji Restoration. Kenshin was one of my favorite animes growing up in the 90s, so I think it's influenced me quite a lot. So Kenshin causes a lot of death and destruction as a top assassin in Japan at that time. But he reforms himself and he swears to protect life instead of taking it. And so it is with Yura similarly, as she gains the ability to shift between human and monster forms in future One Last Monster stories. So before the all is lost moment in the film, I wanted to establish Yura as a capable and sincere person. She's already carrying loss in losing Emperor Teijo, and she's just trying her best to protect an entire world with what limited resources she has. So when she fails, it feels human. And that's the kind of leader I wanted to write a story about. Someone who can admit that they were wrong, and then do the harder thing, change. So I think this can be a point of inspiration when you're writing your own stories. You know, think about this. What massive mistake at the worst possible moment does your character need to experience in order to grow? That moment of failure doesn't threaten the audience's sympathy for them. It makes the character's eventual success in a positive ending magnetic. So don't be afraid to show your character's weaknesses and flaws, because that's what ultimately makes them feel real. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subscribing, as it really helps. If you want to support the work I'm doing creating One Last Monster, please consider joining our Patreon. Link is below. Have a great day. Thank you.